Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about one of the most iconic beginnings in sitcom history, the very first episodes of Friends. And honestly, these episodes perfectly show why this show became a global phenomenon. So grab your coffee, sit back, and let's dive into the chaos, comedy, and emotional madness of the early Friends episodes. The episode starts with Ross walking into Central Perk completely broken after his wife Carol leaves him, and not only did she leave him, she realized she's a lesbian. Right away, the show introduces Ross as this awkward, emotional disaster who somehow makes sadness funny. His line about feeling like his intestines were pulled out and wrapped around his neck, darkly dramatic, but hilarious. Then boom, Rachel enters the story in a wedding dress. This moment changed sitcom history forever. Rachel runs away from her wedding because she realizes she doesn't actually love the guy she's supposed to marry, and suddenly, this spoiled rich girl has to figure out real life for the first time. One of the funniest parts is when Rachel says, "I was getting married because I needed someone to support me." That line perfectly explains her character at the start of the show. She's scared, she's clueless, but she's trying, and that's why audiences instantly connected with her. Now let's talk about the group dynamic. This is where Friends absolutely nails it. Every character feels different. Ross is awkward and emotional. Chandler uses sarcasm to survive life. Joey is lovable but not exactly a genius. Monica is controlling but caring. Phoebe is completely from another planet. And Rachel is learning how to become independent. The chemistry between them feels natural from the very beginning. You can already see why audiences fell in love with these 6 people. One underrated thing about these episodes is how realistic the friendships feel. The characters constantly roast each other, like when everyone starts exposing each other's annoying habits. Joey cracking his knuckles, Ross overpronouncing words, Monica's weird laugh, Phoebe chewing her hair. It feels exactly like real friend groups. They fight, judge each other, embarrass each other. But at the end of the day, they still care about each other deeply, and that emotional warmth became the heart of Friends. Now let's talk about some legendary comedy moments. The ATM scene with Chandler trapped with Jill Goodacre is comedy gold. Chandler trying to sound cool while internally panicking is peak Chandler Bing energy. Gum would be perfection. That line is still iconic, and the way he slowly destroys every chance of looking normal is painfully relatable. Then there's the Thanksgiving episode. Honestly, this episode perfectly captures what Friends does best. Everything goes wrong. They get locked out. The turkey burns. Everybody starts screaming. Monica completely loses her mind. But somehow, it still becomes a perfect Thanksgiving. That final toast where everyone admits they're thankful they're all together, that's the emotional magic of the show. Friends was never just about jokes. It was about lonely people creating their own family. And that's why the show still works decades later. Another great part is watching Rachel slowly become independent. The laundry scene may seem small, but it's actually important for her character. She's terrified of doing basic adult things because she's always depended on her parents. But when she stands up for herself in the laundromat, that's one of her first real victories. It's funny, but also kind of inspiring. And then there's Ross secretly loving Rachel for years. The reveal that Ross has always been in love with her adds emotional depth to the series immediately. When Rachel finally realizes it and runs to the airport to stop him from leaving for China, classic sitcom romance. You already know this relationship is going to be messy, emotional, dramatic, and unforgettable, and trust me, it absolutely is. Overall, these early Friends episodes are nearly perfect sitcom television. The jokes still land, the emotional moments still work, and the chemistry between the cast is incredible. Even after all these years, the show still feels comforting. It's funny, chaotic, emotional, and weirdly relatable. And honestly, that's why Friends became more than just a TV show. It became a comfort show for millions of people around the world. Final rating? I'm giving these episodes a solid 9 out of 10. Classic comedy, classic characters, classic television. And if you still haven't watched Friends somehow, trust me, you're missing out. If you enjoyed this review, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment your favorite Friends moment below. And remember, I'll be there for you. See you guys in the next video.